let's go one step down to the bass guitar or bass synthesizers. In the verse, we have the sub bass. Only thing in the verses is playing is the sub bass. Let's listen to it. Yeah, which is a simple, like really sine wave bass. Not much going on. A little bit of saturation is added with Volcano from Fab Filters to make it a little bit more hearable on bad speakers or your headphones, or also laptop speakers or smartphone speakers. That's pretty important step, so you can properly hear the bass on different speakers. And the chorus, the sub bass is playing as well, but on top of that there are a lot of bass layers. We check them out one by one. First of all, we listen to the whole bass. Okay, let's check it out layer by layer. First the high layer. Which is a simple high synthesizer. Then here, bass high bounce. Which is basically this bass mid layer bounced and then pitched an octave higher. Let's listen to the mid layer. Yeah, which has this funky, groovy vibe. And I did this with the Easy Bass from Toontrack, which looks like this. I love this plugin a lot because, this VST a lot because it's sounding pretty amazing, and I use it in almost every production I make. And it has a very natural vibe, and you can, implement a lot with it sounding pretty natural. So listening to these both layers at once, you can hear that this is the same layer, basically just an octave higher. Okay, and the sub bass is doing pretty much the same, but an octave lower. Which is important, for the low end and the thickness of the chorus. Let's check it out, what we've got here. Yes, I like this part. This is in the second verse where this bass fills are played. Check it out, we listen to it in the context of the song. Love it. This is a bass guitar with a little phasing effect on it. And the second time to introduce the pre-chorus. Okay, let's listen to it again in the context of the song. I know I need a fresh start once more. I have it deep in my heart. There's this feeling inside me that haunts me. It's back for me. And what you can hear, what is so important to any kind of production where you do a lot of in the box, you have to think like the instrumentalist of the VST you are playing. You have basically to play it like a real person, otherwise it will sound fakish, and you don't want that. And especially, well, there are cases where you maybe want that, but in this case, it should sound like a real bass player. And so it's important that we have like the dead notes in this fill, and also like the slide going down. Listen to it once again, just solo. Okay, and let's remove like for a second the dead notes and the slide. I could have done it like that. Let's listen to it. It's bad for me. And now listen again with the down slide and the dead notes. It's bad for me. It's a subtle thing, but it's so important for real sounding instruments when you program them.